33 kind of cruise down the track in front of you there. Yeah, no big deal. I had a pretty good view of it here. We hit the wall. Big time. I swear I'm going to bust this out of the world. We're going to get more speed out of it. Really care. Go, 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 go. Stop, 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 stop. Oh, my God. Back it up. Go, go, go. Me. You guys. We can pick up any words today.
Gentlemen, start your engine! Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another amazing night of Ratfink Racing League Next Gen Cup Series live on the Precision Racing Network. I'm going to be your host tonight. I go by the name of Brandon Massey, and sitting alongside me in the commentary booth tonight is going to be the gentleman that was with me last week. He goes by the name of John Stapleton. John, welcome in.
Glad to be here again with you, Brandon. Excited to get not 1 but 2 weeks here with you. Matt McConaughey getting me hyped up. I'm excited, ready to go for Chicagoland today.
I am too. Right now, we can take a look at the speed chart. As you can see, one of the guys that ran towards the front last week at Bristol was Bradley Carter and Tom Ringer. Both of those guys sit atop the leaderboard. The guy in the number 94, though, goes by the name of Cole Morton. Cole was actually able to set not 1 but 2 consecutive pole positions. Before we get any further, I want to get into tonight's keys of the event and our race info as we are in Gillette, Illinois on a 1.5 miles. Right now, the temperature shows 72 degrees, a relative humidity of 49%, partly cloudy skies. Track temperatures, though, John, shows about 108 degrees. But when I look at it, what I'm looking at is our keys to victory. Fuel management, I think, is going to be key. These drivers are going to have 63% worth of fuel in these cars, so multiple pit stops along with timing is going to be everything. But then tire strategy, right? They're only going to have about 3 to 4 sets of tires available, so saving one of those for a late restart could be the difference. And then drafting and lane choice. You know, Chicagoland rewards running multiple grooves, and I expect to see some big moves late, John.
Yeah, for sure. Chicagoland, you know, Kyle Larson made this place famous for his famous high line, and I expect seeing in practice, watching these guys hit the high line. Now, the problem is with that high line is we all know here that wall comes up quick, and that wall can be a killer when it comes to your run. The biggest thing is staying out of the wall. How high do you go? Definitely when it comes to saving tires as well.
Absolutely. We're going to take a look at the points, the top 10 in points right here. As you can see right now, Tyler Waltz holds the top spot, followed by Brandon Hitton, Tom Ringer, Cole Morton, and Brian Sosa. That's going to be the top 5. And then I'm looking at 6th through 10th, right? Chuck Burley, Sean Dion, Jordan Trask, not signed in tonight, Jonathan McIntosh, and Jacob Williams. There's one name on that list that stands out to me, or that's not on that list, rather, and that guy goes by the name of Todd Parra, who's going to be my pick for tonight's race win. Before we get any further, I'm going to send us over to our national anthem. That way we can pay tribute to our servicemen and women, those that is currently serving now and those that have served. We'll be right back live from the Precision Racing Network with all the live coverage from Chicagoland.
To honor America with the performance of the national anthem, 8-time Grammy Award winner, Chris Stapleton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular amongst birds singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was
What a beautiful rendition of the national anthem by Chris Stapleton there. Here every week. Gets me excited for Chicagoland, and I am super excited. A lot of things to look at as we get our 3 minutes of practice here left before we let the drivers go out on the track solo to qualify. Biggest news to mention, Jordan Trask will not be here tonight, especially coming from back-to-back wins at Kentucky and Bristol. Will a new winner evolve? With the Ringer winning in Daytona opens up another door. We got Brandon Hinton, who has been a quiet warrior in this race. He has 2 straight podiums coming off of Kentucky and Bristol. Definitely knows where to be in the end. Can he get it done tonight? And then let's not forget about him having a very good car last week. Just not enough to get it done is Bradley Carter. He's in here. He's definitely showed that he's ready to go on short tracks, medium tracks, and the super speedways. He's definitely a guy to watch, and he is going to be my pick for tonight. Going into this race in Chicago, we got Tyler Waltz out here. He's definitely in the lead, leading the points right now, trying to keep it behind him. He's been able to keep it. He hasn't been able to get into victory lane. Is he one to watch? I'm really excited to see how he does in the race. And as Brandon said, there's Perot. Definitely all good picks coming from up in the booth as we sit here with less than 2 minutes to qualifying.
Yeah, we're going to be about a minute, 40 seconds down to qualifying, and that's going to be a solid pick is Bradley Carter. Again, Tyler Waltz does sit atop the points lead currently right now. That's another guy that we're going to want to keep an eye on as the points battle does continue to rage on throughout this season. And while we have a second, I'm going to throw the schedule up on the screen because tonight we're going to log 115 laps here at Chicagoland. But then next week, John, we're going to be headed to Dover where these guys are going to try to tame Miles the Monster for 145 laps.
Let me tell you what, man, I am excited for the future schedule to come. We just come off Bristol, a nice tight track. Now we get to go to Chicagoland where they get to open it up. And then next week, Dover, right back at it, definitely throwing all these drivers through the loop and definitely bringing out the endurance and find the best driver in this series.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm looking forward to tonight, but I can tell you, I'm really looking forward to Dover. I have never been able to call a race at Dover, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I visited Dover, Delaware, quite some time ago with my wife. We traveled out there and caught a race live, and that was a lot of fun. And I can tell you, typically this car puts on a really good show. But I tell you why I'm excited tonight, John, is because NASCAR just released their 2026 season schedule, and well, we're going back to Chicagoland.
Oh, absolutely. It's an amazing track where so many grooves come in, the high lane, the bottom lane. It's always a coin toss on who's going to come at the end of the night, and I'm excited to watch at home. Not just watch these drivers, but watch the professionals next year.
As these guys currently in Ratfink Racing League is the drivers that we would like to call our professionals, at least in this series. But on Sunday next year, we're going to be able to watch Larson be able to hit that high line and do what he does best around Chicagoland. That's going to end practice right now. Carter, Ringer, Morton, Waltz, Perot, Drool, Kohlhaas, Philbrick, McIntosh, and Curtis, all going to be atop the top 10. We do have some new drivers signed in that's going to be new to the series, much like we had last week. One of those guys is going to be the driver, the number 17. He goes by the name of Thomas Drool. Alongside him, we're going to have another new driver to the series. He goes by the name of Chris Wagner. He's going to be in the 7 car tonight. And then in the number 29, this is going to be a name I've not seen all season, but he has been here. He's going to be new to me. It's going to be Judson Curtis. And then also we have another new one. He's going to be driving the 06, and I believe that's going to be Ryan Philbrick. That's going to be some new drivers to the series. Now, some guys that we're going to want to keep an eye on throughout the night is going to be Bradley Carter. Tom Ringer was second quick, only by about 700ths in practice. We're going to want to keep an eye on him. Todd Perot, Tyler Waltz, all knocking on the door over the last couple weeks. And much like you said, John, with Jordan Trask not signing in, this is going to open up a door of opportunity, at least when it comes to the points battle.
Yeah, absolutely. I know if I was in any of these drivers' shoes watching the guy who's won the last 2 races not going to be here, I am on my toes and I got something to prove. One less car to pass on the track, even though we got these new guys coming in today. It's another toss-up. You know, these guys have been... You see different people in the front every race and all this stuff. You know, it's just you never know what can happen.
You don't know what's going to happen, and that's why these drivers is going to go out and they are going to log what's going to be 115 laps right now. Chuck Burley shows to be the quickest in qualifying, laying down a 30.8. That's going to be about 0.6 off what we've seen in practice. Right now, Jonathan Crosby is going to be logging in a second lap here if he hasn't already. And in fact, his second lap is going to be a little bit slower than his first. Currently, right now, out on the racetrack is going to be Ira Kohlhaas, the Woodlawn native. And in fact, you know what's interesting, John, is I just got off the spotter stand with Ira in another league where we logged 120 laps at New Hampshire. He will pick up time on his second lap to go to a 30.7. Chuck Burley still sets atop with a 36.6. On the racetrack right now is going to be Tom Ringer, David Esky, Bradley Carter, all looking to lay down some lap times. Cole Morton, though, last week's pole sitter, makes a little wall contact, so that lap's going to be null and void, but he should be able to get another one. As you can see, Iris finishing up his run. We're going to catch Tom Ringer here and see if we can't maybe catch his laps. He was second quick in practice, John.
Let's see how he does. He's definitely taking the high line.
Might be just trying to warm those tires up to maybe try to get a little grip out of them. We know the track temps have been a little bit hot, so...
Yeah, definitely qualifying is building up that momentum as much as you can in that car to get that fastest lap.
Right now, currently, our fastest driver in what was practice was is setting ninth quick. Ryan Philbrick just went to the top with a 30.45. Let's see where Bradley Carter logs in here. He will, I believe, finish up his run this time as soon as he crosses the line. And in fact, he'll go second quick. So, interesting. Your pick for the night's going to go with a 35.5. That's going to be second quick. Tom Ringer right now, third quick, not far off. There's a lot of these guys are finishing up their laps. John, I think this is going to be an interesting race, right? I think we're going to see some comers and goers. I really think this is going to be a track, and you tell me, I feel like this track is really abusive on tires. So I think this one is going to be one where tire management's really going to be key.
Absolutely. With only 3 sets of tires as well, these guys are going to be slipping and sliding, definitely, especially when it comes to that backstretch. When that wall bows out, like I was saying earlier, that wall comes out quick. It's going to cause these cars to drift up, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on their right rear tires. And that is definitely something you need going into Chicagoland, where definitely is tight racing. It needs to stick to one certain line and hold your line the whole race and find the fastest line to get out of here. And those tires definitely are a big factor in that situation.
It is a big factor in that situation. And in fact, one thing that we watched last week at Bristol when we was live there was one gentleman who decided to run the bottom and only the bottom, and that was Bradley Carter. And well, up until a late caution that allowed a late race restart where him and Jordan Trask with the battle, Jordan was ultimately able to pick up the win, but Bradley did a really good job at just maintaining the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. He was definitely a force to be reckoned with for most of that race, putting pressure on Tross, just not, like I said, unable to get it done. I do believe he's got what it takes to get into victory lane tonight, and I wish the best for him.
And I do too, as well. As tonight's going to be a very interesting night as we're going to get into tonight's starting grid here at Chicagoland. Starting on pole will be Ryan Philbrick. Starting outside him is going to be the 62, Bradley Carter. Rolling off from the third position is going to be the 68, Tom Ringer. Rolling off in the fourth position is going to be the 29 of Judson Curtis. Starting fourth, in one of his best starts so far of the season, is going to be in the fifth position in the 4 car is going to be Chuck Burley. Rolling off sixth, driving the 54 tonight, is going to be Tyler Waltz, our current points leader. And one of his better starts of the series, starting in the 7th position, is going to be the Woodlawn native, Aaron Kohlhaas. Rolling off in the 8th position is going to be the 69 of Todd Parra. Last week's pole sitter and rolling off in the 9th position is going to be the number 94 of Cole Morton. And starting in the 10th position, newcomer to the lead, is going to be number 17, Thomas Drool.
Lining up behind him in that 11th spot will be Jonathan Crosby. Outside him and starting in the 12th position is Hunter Ezell. Moving back to the back half of the grid, we got starting 9th is Cole Morton with Thomas Drevel starting 10th right beside him. Right behind them is going to be in the 11th spot is Jonathan Crosby. Right next to him is going to be Hunter Ezell. 13th is Sean Dion. 14th is David Esky. Starting 15th is Jonas Shamakitas, and starting right next to him is in the 16th spot is Brian Sosa. Following up behind them is Brandon Hinton in 17th, and in 18th it'll be Jacob L. Williams. And following up the pack, starting in 19th, will be Chris Wagner in the number 7.
And that will be tonight's starting grid right there. I'm super excited for tonight, man. I'll be honest, tonight's going to be a really, really good showing, I think. One guy I want to keep an eye on is the guy that's going to be starting in the 17th position back there. That's going to be Brandon Hinton. For some reason, he just likes to put on a show and let us know that hey, I'm going to be one of the biggest movers throughout the night, and he does a really good job of it.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. He's definitely good at being patient and taking his time and doing what it has to do to get into a winning position.
So
but like we said, with these tires, can he save it?
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing. One thing that we've gotten to know about Brandon Hinton is the fact that he does a really good job at saving tires. I tell you, another guy that does really well at saving tires, or at least always has finds himself really in a position to win, is going to be that bright neon metallic green of 68. It's going to be Tom Ringer. The lights will be out on the iRacing pace car, which means they'll be going green this time by. We're going to get this 115 lap showdown at Chicagoland under green flag. And, well, we've seen a couple quick cautions the last couple weeks, John.
Absolutely. But, with Bristol, it's tight track, tough racing. I feel like I believe in these guys to definitely stay green for a little bit. Definitely get a little more comfortable as the season goes on. If we get ready to take the green here, Chicagoland.
And we are under green flag, and very quickly, Bradley Carter is going to be looking to move towards the bottom. Right now, Philbrick's going to maintain that middle line. That's going to be the battle for the lead as they head off turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
Feeling it out. Carter looks to the bottom. Not there. See, this is where it's going to be trouble. This is where everybody's trying to figure out where they want to run. Are they going to run high, going to run low? They're definitely settling with these cars. Once these tires get warmed up, I'm expecting to see some good moves as we look to be 3 wide almost going off the front stretch.
Yeah, it was just about 3 wide as a lot of these guys are still looking to go 3 wide, as we can see an absolute battle down the back straightaway. That's the nice thing about Chicago and these restarts is the fact that these guys can fan out. They do have that wide open, as you can look. The 17 thought about going 3 wide there, John, and got a little bit loose there. He's able to maintain it. We are going to be 3 wide, 2 wide, close to it nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely a good decision on him to back out of that situation. It's definitely all about being safe, making sure your car, as he goes 3 wide now anyway, so maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, he's on the move is Thomas Drool in the 17 right there. As you can see, again, tire management, one thing that we want to keep an eye on. We've seen over the last couple of weeks, Hunter Ezell have really, really good runs early, but was struggling really late. So we'll follow up with the 17. Right now, there's been a swap for positions. You can see Bradley Carter, I bet he's tire saving, because right now, Philbrick, Curtis, Waltz, all to the top 3. Carter is going to be 4th. Drool up 5 spots. Currently, there's Philbrick in the 5th position.
Yeah, it's like he hasn't even took a step back for sure. He's definitely on that tire saving just as he was in Bristol. And it worked for him then. Will it work for him now?
Another guy that might be in a tire saving situation is going to be the 68 of Tom Ringers. We can see him right there. Chuck Burley riding inside the top 10, currently in the 7th position. My pick to win tonight, currently riding in the 8th position. I sent him a message earlier, John, and I told him, I said, Todd, you can't suck tonight. You're my pick to win. And he said, I'll try not to.
Yeah, definitely a stand-up guy. Looking forward to putting the show on for the fans. Not only the fans, but you tonight, Brandon.
We're hoping so. As you can see, what a beautiful throwback car it does Cole Morton have to Dale Earnhardt in that Wheaties Goodwrench number 94. Directly behind him is going to be Ira Kohlhaas. Ira's dropped about 4 positions currently right now, shows to be about the biggest loser right now on the racetrack. But again, tire saving. Let's see where we are here in 15, 20 laps, John, once we start to see some tire wear. Still no change with the top 4. Those top 4 or 5 are exactly right about the same. Right now, I want to stay right here. This is where the battle is, at least currently on the racetrack.
Yeah, who was that using all of the racetrack? That's another good thing. The number 19 of Gazelle, using all of that front stretch there, going all the way down to the grass.
Now, one thing that I
used to
think
be a lot of moves.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we need to keep an eye on, John, is using all that racetrack, right? I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, I would think that you're going to use up a lot more tire dipping down onto the apron right there. At least a little bit more scrubbing than normal, as we do have a change for the lead right here. We're going to go up here, John. Right now, the 54 of Waltz, our current points leader, looking to gain the top spot.
And he was one we talked about. You know, he's definitely holding off and trying to keep his points lead. Unable to get in the victory lane yet, but this could be his chance. Definitely showing out strong early part of the race. Taking the lead from Philbrick.
He has been able to take the lead. And again, this is going to be one of those situations to where we know for a fact Jordan Trask is not signed in, and he's not going to be able to race tonight. And I don't think he's going to be able to race next week, at least in the conversation that we had with him. However, this is an opportunity, right? If you're Tyler Waltz, you've been able to maintain the points lead, which tells me you've had some really good consistent runs. We've talked to him the last couple of weeks. Tonight might be the night that he is able to find victory lane.
Like we said, it's anybody's chance right now. Right now, the guy that Waltz on top, as Philbrick now passes him down the inside.
Yeah, Philbrick.
And definitely, this is a little bit tricky of a pit road, too. It's definitely a lot of momentum you're carrying in this track and slowing down. So we could be looking for some pit road mistakes. Hopefully not for these drivers, but anything. There's literally so many things that can affect who is leading this race and who can win this race.
Absolutely. We're going to go a little bit further down the grid right now. In the 12th position is going to be the 73 of Jonathan Crosby. John Dionne's going to be right behind him. Brian Sosa, Jacob Williams, Brandon Hinton, all battling for position right here. This is going to be 15th, 16th, 17th. Currently one guy that I show has it taking the green flag. That's going to be Chris Wagner. Jonathan McIntosh and group's going to be back here. Tyler's been able to clear, though, and put a little bit of a distance between himself and Philbrick. And again, one thing that I want to keep an eye on is how abrasive the track is to these tires, dipping down off the racing surface into the apron. I've never been a fan of that, John. I don't know about you, but I've never been a fan of that.
You know, I've had races where it bites me in the butt, and I've had races where it helps me win. You know, it's all about definitely reading the cars in front of you and how you're going to make that pass. It definitely can come to your favor, but as you said earlier, it can definitely use some tires. But as you see, we see a lot of runners holding that, just trying to keep their track position to the leaders and not lose any more time.
Right now, the biggest mover on the racetrack is going to be that 17 car, Thomas Jewell. Now, we know for a fact he went early, real early, kind of quick, made up 7 positions. In fact, has just kind of been kind of riding. One guy, though, that kind of surprised me right now, about 14 laps into this race, as they're going to complete 13, working on 14, is going to be your pick in Bradley Carter.
Dropped back to 5th, but it seems to be holding a sturdy pace when it comes to these leaders. Holding off about almost half a second behind the leader.
Right now,
full second. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, right now, all these guys within about, say, a couple hundredths of a second in lap time. As you can see, right here is going to be a battle for position. This is going to be the 29 of Judson Curtis. These guys are going to Whoa, that was close.
Yeah, those slide ups when you get tight here in Chicagoland, and all he's got to do is nestle back, and now get that out of his head and look forward and just put that mistake behind you and just keep on attacking.
Wow, I can tell you, you couldn't have probably fit a piece of paper between them two cars, but they're able to keep them straight, keep them green. Right now, though, one guy starting to make some moves, going to be the one car of Ira Kohlhaas. You can see he's now made up a couple of positions. He's riding comfortably 8th inside the top 10 right now. He's battling around Tom Ringer. I think this is going to be a pretty good battle. Right now, Ira is one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now. Out of the top 8, shows to be about the 3rd quickest on the racetrack, at least by the scoring and timing that I'm looking at. You can see a couple of those guys still getting down there on the apron.
This is with the time where we're 17 laps. These tires are past warmed up. We're going to see the fastest speeds on the racetrack right now as we watch Carter here try to make a move and close the distance on Curtis.
Right now, these two still rage on their battle. This has been a really good battle for position. Another battle I want to keep an eye on is just going to be right in front of them. That's going to be this battle for the lead, is now since Philbrick has went to the top, kind of rotating the middle top area to try to get a run off. And this battle's going to rage on here. And I'd say, well, looks like it's already happening, John.
Yeah, coming up to his back bumper. Looks like Philbrick looking up to take high as Waltz holds his ground up there, not able to make the move.
Right now, though, one guy that I'm seeing that's really starting to struggle, John, 19 laps in, is the 17 of Thomas Drool. Again, we touched on it just a little bit, how quick he went, but now, did he hurt them tires too early?
That's just going to be something we're going to have to tell with time here. He has fallen back, or maybe he's just taking a few steps. Maybe he's seen some things he didn't like, and it's like, hey, let me get out of there for a bit. It's 115 laps. Definitely got to use some patience here. A lot of fast-moving parts. Patience.
Patience. We talk about patience just about every week, and really, truthfully, that is a very key thing, right? With limited sets of tires and with the way that they do the fuel with these cars, at least within Ratfink Racing League, patience is always a key, at least one of the keys to victory for us.
Every time you step into a race car, patience is one of the most important things you got to know. You know when to make your move, know when not to make the move. Just one bad move could cost you the race.
Right now, one guy looking to make a move towards the front as the 29 is going to look for a crossover. What a beautiful, this is amazing racing right here, John.
Now, my question is, are they getting super tight on the exit of 2? That's the second time we've seen a laser fast run off of 2 from a car behind. That is another thing to keep up. Is you were talking about the guys on the bottom that are losing their tires. Well, Carter looks like he's been saving it, and he still looks like he seems to be pushing here on lap 22.
Yeah, I think right now the guy with the line is going to be the 29. You can see he's entering about that 3rd lane up and then really able to pull a really good run off. I think one guy that we do want to keep an eye on is going to be him here, because the reason I say that is right now he's putting pressure on Philbrick for second.
Yeah, Philbrick hasn't been under much pressure today other than it's passing for Waltz here, so let's see how he handles it.
We'll keep an eye on this battle here. Let's watch this entry again. You can see now the top 2 has also went up to the top, and they're going to try to take that line away from him. Look at the run, though. He's actually going to stall out. He's actually not going to get a run quite like he had. The bottoms, to me, though, still dominating, at least in turns 3 and 4.
And that's a good place. When you run the bottom, you're definitely going to push up. And that front stretch coming out of 3 and 4 is curved, so you could push it up a little bit higher and get a little bit more speed off the corner than you can in 1 and 2. So I see it's definitely a good line to be running.
It is a good line to be running. As you can see right here, Ringer's looking to make a pass on a Zell. That's going to be for what is showing to be the 5th position. Lurking directly behind them is going to be Kohlhaas and then Todd Parra. I think Todd's just logging laps, man. Honestly, him, Chuck Burley, some of these guys towards the latter part, or the latter mid-pack area might just be a tire-saving thing. I think right now, though, the dominant line within 1 and 2 is going to be the outside, still on the lower side of 3 and 4. As Waltz is going to maintain about a 0.4 of a second lead. He's going to run the high side in 3 and 4.
Definitely the time to start trying different lanes. You know, find yourself and what you're going to do to at the end of the race if you get the opportunity to make a pass.
Looked like to me lost about a 10th running that higher line down in turns 1 and 2, or 3 and 4 rather. I like this. I like seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 all right here amongst each other, man. This has been a good race so far. I think this is. I mean, we're only 26 laps in. We're completing 26. I think this is going to be an amazing race for the race fans at home for us.
100%. I'm excited. Waltz is doing a great job of protecting the lead right now. Definitely, I'm hoping to see him in victory lane, even though Carter's my pick today. I'm rooting for Waltz to find victory lane this season.
Oh, yes, I am too, man. What a great young talent. Currently the points leader, checking in on the 17. He's getting a little bit of pressure from Jonathan Crosby, Cole Morton, and Chuck Burley all right here together. David Esky. I respect David. He shows up out here every single week, races.
That's the best way to get better, right? You just come out here, you put down some laps, you either learn today or you're going to learn for your next race here if you get the opportunity next season. Who knows? You know?
It's always a learning opportunity anytime you're on this racetrack. What a great Knob Creek. I can tell you, Ira Kohlhaas would appreciate that. Knob Creek on the side of that race car for Brian Sosa right there. That's a good-looking race car, man. These guys always have good-looking race cars. I tell you, though, John, one guy that's kind of struggling right now has not been able to make up any track position. It's going to be Brandon Hinton. I'm kind of surprised by this.
You know, this is a very consistent track. It can be hard to pass here in times. Yeah, definitely a rough showing for him right now. But we'll see how these pit cycles and see what he does with them.
Yeah, he does have about 86 laps. I believe that was Jonathan Crosby on the wall right there.
Yeah, a lot of that you're going to see today. That exit out of 2 is so scary coming up there, especially on old tires. Your new car wants to push up. Like, find your lifting points. Like I said, that's what could cost you the race. As soon as your rear end and your front end catch that, it'll slow you down like crazy.
So one guy currently on the move, though, is going to be the 19 of Hunter Azell. You know, we've talked about him the last couple of weeks, and I believe this young man is really starting to pay attention and learn. The last couple of weeks, he's been really quick to burn through the field and burn up those tires, but right now, he's the biggest mover, currently up 6 spots.
Yeah, it's got to be that Napa scheme he threw on. Oh, is there's contact? Definitely. Oh, no, as he launches into the front stretch wall.
We'll go back and
talk about the commentator's curse.
Yeah, we just kind of jinxed him right there. We're going to go back and watch this battle through 3 and 4. Not sure exactly what. I want to see if we can get a different angle on that. Looks like Kohlhaas's car kind of bobbled a little bit there, John. Did it look like that to you? Kind of in this area right in here? Kind of. Let's see if, let's go on. Let's do this. I've got a camera view we can use for this. Let me see. Do this. And then we'll go to Kohlhaas. Let's see what we can.
Yeah, from the looks of it, looks like Ira pushes up the track just a little bit, holding his line, and the 19, mistakenly not knowing he looks around him, just cuts like a very marginal room of error there, and
that's one thing.
Let's hope they can get a fence repair and get him going.
Yeah, it's one thing we didn't see was the one of Ira ended up in the wall too from that. So That will be the first caution of the night. So the leaders are going to come down pit road. Those drivers do have a fast repair, so they'll be able to use that fast repair, get back on the racetrack. I can tell you for sure, no ill intent there. Looked like the one just kind of had a little bit of a bobble. The 19 started to come down, just ran out of racing room. It looked to me just like a racing type of incident. But Philbrick's going to lead him down pit road. Watts is already in his pit. Carter missed his pit, though. He's still backing up. He's going to lose tons of track position.
That is super unfortunate for Carter. Like I said, pit entry is a little rough here. A little bit of mistake, and that's all it takes to see where Carter falls out of the pits.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge mistake for Bradley, as he's going to be somewhere around the 8th, 9th, 10th position area. That's going to be horrible for him, but I believe he'll be able to overcome. Philbrick's going to win the race off pit road. Should be followed by Curtis, Parra, Waltz, and Morton. Now, we'll let this shake out and unofficially see how the restart's going to go. So, John, after the first green flag run we've seen, that's going to put us completing, once we cross the line here, and I believe the lights on the pace cars are going to go out, that'll complete 34. We're going to be working lap 35 of the 115. What's your take so far?
Definitely some excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am to watch these cars get bunched up again. This is where people are going to start taking chance. They know how the car is going to feel on these fresh tires. Definitely racing around each other. I expect to see some good moves, some more three-wide racing, and some good times here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we're in for what's going to be a really, really good restart. I suspect that they'll probably fan out, maybe 3-4 wide even, once they take the green and come back to the start-finish line.
If you take a look here, Brandon, looks like Waltz fell 3 spots as he goes down to 4th.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see where he's going to line. He, in fact, is going to line up on the outside right there. This is Tyler Waltz. So, that being the case, he's going to lose a little bit of time on pit road. But we know he does have a fast car. But one thing that we haven't seen with Tyler is once he assumed the lead, he kind of took it over about 10 or so, 15 laps in. Now he's back there in a little bit more dirty air than what he's been in all night long, so we'll need to keep an eye on that as the pace car is going to dip off. Our brother Steve up on the flag stand is going to have the green flag in hand, and Philbrick's going to get him underway. We're going to be back under green here. Live from the Chicagoland Speedway. Philbrick, Curtis, Parra. Look, Todd, he finds a way every single week just to find himself in a really good position. But look at that runoff that the Waltz is going to get there on the high side. I suspect Waltz is going to make a really quick just restarting 4th. He's going to try really quick to clear these guys and try to get back out front. You know, clean air is everything, John, when it comes to these next-gen cars.
Oh, absolutely when it comes to the clean air. Not only that, controlling the pace. That's a big thing. The only problem can be it's easy to overrun it when you're out there by yourself, not racing with others, and that's where the tires can come into an issue. He had a great running at it under that first little green flag run. So I don't see why he can't do it now. Just having trouble getting behind. A little vice versa here going on. Philbrick holding off Waltz here on the second run.
Yeah, I think one thing that I'm kind of interested to see as this battle's going to rage on is Philbrick's going to go up and try to block that run, and you can see a little bit of arrow tied out of Waltz there. That's one thing I want to pay attention to is how much blocking the 06 of Philbrick's really willing to do right now in this position.
Especially this early in the race.
Yeah.
But man, let me tell you, the run Waltz is getting on the top is insane.
Yeah, and I think Philbrick's taken notice of that run, and in fact, he again is going to go up there and he's going to shut the door on that run. This is quite the battle we got for the lead. This is kind of a chess match amongst these top 2, 3, 4 here.
But Perot's got to be loving it, watching these leaders run hard, try to keep each other from passing each other, and definitely burning up their tires as Pro licks his lips up there watching these leaders.
Yeah, one guy on the move, though, battling with Peral right now is going to be Cole Morton. He did set the pole the last couple weeks, both Bristol and Kentucky, and right now he's headed towards the front. He's looking to battle for the 4th position alongside Todd Peral here. Ringer just outside the top 5. He's looking to take advantage of it as well. I think one thing, though, John, is I think it's worth making mention, too, is how big of an air bubble for draft that these cars will open when they're side by side. As you can see, there goes Ringer battling. Yeah, he'll clear very easily, it looks like, there will Ringer.
Yeah, the side draft in these cars are pretty brutal sometimes, so definitely that's another key, making the pass, not making contact, or getting right under there, pushing their wind, taking away their wind and their air, and making the pass.
As you can see, Morton, Ringer, Peral, 4th, 5th, 6th right now. Philbrick out front, no change. Walt's about 2/10 off. Again, I think it's going to take a few laps for that top to come in, but once it does, I think Tyler Waltz is going to be okay. He's going to continue to ride right there. I want to go a little bit further down, and what I feel like has been one of the better starting positions is going to be Chuck Burley. At least he had for this race. Currently riding inside the top 10, currently in the 9th position. One guy I think Joe John has made a little bit of ground up, at least maybe on pit road, is going to be Brandon Hinton.
Absolutely. We were just talking about him. Like I said, you can't count anybody out in this series. He could run in the back if you're feeling bad for him. Next thing you know, he's sitting there right on the knocking on the doors of the top 10, or in the top 10. I apologize. You know, things can change at any moment.
Things can change at a quick blink of an eye, and right now he's putting a little bit of pressure on Bradley Carter. You can see that battle is raging on right there. Waltz is within about a 10th or so of the leader. Look at this. This is absolutely amazing. All these top 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 guys just all over top of each other. This is an amazing race right here, John. Oh, is he going to get his quarter?
Is it? Those the late block has to back off of it. Opens up the lane back for Waltz. Walt dips in the inside. Little bit of contact here driving up.
Tight.
Oh no, what a
Tight.
crazy move by the 29 to take the lead.
The 29 just able to shoot in there. The 54 and Philbrick both super tight in the middle of that exit, kind of leaning on each other. And Philbrick's going to get the worst of this, but the guy coming out on top is going to be Judson Curtis.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, that group behind the leaders who are watching them battle and just use their tires. Now, both leaders get tight. 29, that was an amazing move. I thought there's not a lot of people that could pull off that move and keep it clean here.
That was wild, but right now, the guy that went to the top in 1 and 2 to make up some track position was Philbrick. And, well, let's see how he feels about that once he gets to the back bumper of the 54 here. These 3 wide right here behind him. Did you see that? Look at this. Look at this battle, John.
There's battles everywhere, Brandon. Carter's still looking to capitalize on this mistake on pit road. Holding that bottom. Freight train on top.
As you can see, Philbrick Waltz about 4 car lengths or so behind Judson Curtis. Currently is the leader. I'm going to take a look back here at Ira. Ira elected not to take that fast repair and is just kind of logging laps. I'm guessing they got a fast repair for tonight. I don't think I'm wrong on that. Jonathan, let's see if you can find out.
Yeah, let me...
This battle still rages on.
Yep, they do have 1 fast repair, Brandon.
So Ira elected not to take that fast repairs. We can see some damage still on the right front of that race car.
And that's a very smart play, I think, by Ira. He's banking on some more another caution to be able to come in and get it fixed completely, saving that faster pair, because you never know. You see how wild it just got there for the pass here at lap, whatever it was that the lead changed. Curtis made that move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, about
So it's
4
like,
laps ago, so.
yeah, save that faster pair for emergency needs. I think that's a great plan by Ira.
So right now, Waltz, Philbrick still looking to really reel in Judson Curtis. They've been able to do that by about a 10th. We've seen Waltz do this earlier in the race. Wanted to paint the white line in 3 and 4, the high line in 1 and 2. Still staying steady, about 3/10 amongst these top 3-4 cars right now. Ringer very comfortably inside the top 5. You can see him right there in the 4th position. Morton.
Love how that man's car sticks out.
Yeah, we definitely can't miss his out on the racetrack. Another one can't miss is going to be the 94 of Cole Morton and that beautiful throwback to Dale Earnhardt and that Wheaties Good Wrench Chevy Camaro right there. This has been a steady battle amongst these 4 or 5 cars right here. You got Bradley Carter, Tom Farah, Brandon Hinton, Chuck Burley, and Sean Deone all right here in a line together. At this point, I think it comes down to a matter of who makes a mistake, right? To try to get the track position.
Yeah, mistakes are costly. And that's... Man, I don't even want to talk about it for these drivers after what happened with Ira.
Yeah, Ira and Hunter Azell. Hunter has since parked it on the truck. We'll take an early exit. You know, the broadcaster's curse, we know it's a very real thing, and so Tyler's still trying to roll that top in 1 and 2. These leaders are starting to space just a little bit. There's Jacob Williams. I need to give a shout out to Jacob real quick for the race fans at home. When we started tonight's broadcast, the video that we went to before we went live was put together by Jacob, or at least he was the one that sent it to me. So I want to give him a shout out for that video. What an absolutely amazing job he did. So thank you. I don't know if he's planning on doing those every week. I think he had made mention of it, but it was an absolutely banger of a way to start tonight's broadcast here on the Precision Racing Network. One guy we haven't talked a lot about tonight, a really good-looking race car, though, John's going to be Jonathan McIntosh, currently in the 12th position.
Yeah, McIntosh, not too bad of a finish out there. Not a bad race at Bristol. Really looking to see what he's got forward here. He's not running in the best spot, but you see those leaders are hauling right now, and it's, you know, sometimes you're in the back, sometimes you're in the front. The biggest part is learn when you're in the back.
Absolutely. That's what it takes. As I think right now, John, I think we should do our Precision Racing Network Rev It Up. What do you think?
Oh, let me hear it.
Let's rev it up. I don't know about you, John, but that gets my blood boiling every time we do that.
Absolutely. They used to be speechless.
Nothing like...
Definitely some good camera cuts, Brandon. I got to give this man, Brandon, in the booth here. putting all this together when it comes to camera edits, this broadcast. It's fun to be up in here, but with you, buddy.
I appreciate that, man. I actually want to give a shout out to Ira back here in the one car. I kind of talked to him about last week's broadcast when we were at Bristol, John, and I said, what'd you think about the Rev It Up? And he said, mix in some onboard and nose shots, and I think it'd be great. So that's what I tried to do tonight. So hopefully for you race fans at home, you thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, John, we're always trying to learn and do what we can to make the broadcast a lot more interesting and viewable for the folks at home. And so, we do what we can nonetheless, and we always try to make sure that we call the racing action for sure.
Absolutely. And big credit goes out to the guys on track right now. They give us such an opportunity to commentate and talk to the people with such incredible racing that they put on for us.
They have done that throughout tonight, but I tell you, one guy that's kind of stalled out behind that leader is going to be Tyler Waltz. Right now, that lead hasn't grown, but it also hasn't shrank either. Shrank, is that even a word? Should be shrunk.
You tell you what, I left my dictionary at home today, Brandon.
Hey, mine's, in fact, I couldn't tell you the last time I had one, but nonetheless, he's still holding steady about that 2.5 tenth mark. So a couple car lengths still separating these two, but now there's been a little bit of distance between Waltz and Philbrick. That's going to be about 4 what shows to be about 4 or 5 car lengths. But then right now the guy's kind of on the move, or we've not really seen do too awfully much to be too awfully crazy, but he's actually worked himself up from, I believe, around the 7th position is going to be Bradley Carter.
Yeah, definitely taking advantage or having a rough pit, but being able to bring it back. That's what makes great drivers, is how you overcome from your mistakes. Had a rough mistake on that pit, now putting himself back in position to be battling in contention for the lead.
And that comes back to that patience game that we've talked about a couple of times. Again, the race isn't won on the first lap, the 20th or the 50th. But tonight, the race is going to be won on lap 115. And now a couple of things that we want to make mention of, we've not had to use them the last couple of weeks, is going to be those green, white, checkered attempts. And we do have a couple of those in store if we have to have them for the latter part of this race.
You said how the Rev It Up gets your blood pumping. Green, white, checkers get my blood pumping, let me tell you.
Green, white, checkers. We have a couple of those in the bank tonight as we're taking a look here at Brian Sosa, currently right now riding in the 13th position. Jacob Williams just in front of him. John, you want to take us through the field here, partner?
Yeah, absolutely. Going up here, we got our leader, of course, Judson Curtis, after making that crazy 3-wide move. Behind him is Tyler Waltz looking to chase him down. Sitting in behind him is going to be Ryan Philbrick. Excited seeing him get back to the front. Now Bradley Carter in that number 62 machine, looking beautiful and up front again. Sit behind him, we got Tom Ringer in that 5th spot. Following behind him is going to be in that 6th spot because Cole Morton, as it looks like Todd Perall is making the move to get past him right now.
You can see Todd right there.
Oh, my mistake. Todd Perall's now making the passing move towards.
Yeah, I believe the 73 is going to be Jonathan Crosby. And here's Brandon Hinton. Ah, look at that.
Kyle Larson,
Got
baby.
A little Larson on there. Chuck Burley. I tell you, I like Chuck's car, man, and I want to give him a shout out. He does a lot of painting and whatnot, and his paints look really killer. But I want to say thank you, Chuck, for running PRN on the side of your race car. We appreciate that, man. We've come in here for the last 2 or 3 weeks and really got to know a lot of these guys, and it's quite an honor to see that running around on one of our, our logo on one of these race cars. And I just want to say thank you, Chuck, for doing that, man. We definitely appreciate you. I also want to give a shout out to Cole Morton real quick, John. So I don't know if you was reading through kind of the communication channels that we have outside the iRacing simulator, but Cole I think it was, I don't know, it was late last week or just shortly after the broadcast we had at Bristol. He puts a comment in there and he goes, "Hey, we need to get Massey on what was it? Is one of the NASCAR shows. I can't remember what it was that they used to do during the week. Help me here, John.
NASCAR race day?
Yeah, it was race day. He's like, hey, let's get Massey on race day or something along those lines. And so big shout out to him, man. He's been a real big supporter, and I know his family has too. So to Cole's family, absolutely want to say thank you all for your all's amazing feedback for what we do here at the Precision Racing Network. It's an absolute honor. I just enjoy calling races, and so we want to say thank you. We're going to get back. Whoa, what was going on down here? The 54 is off pace. Is he pitting? He, in fact, is. The 54 is pitting.
I wonder what makes him do that. Are we getting towards the end of the cycle here?
We might be. The last time these guys was on pit road, John, that I have is going to be lap 33. Right now, I show 3 or 4 on pit road. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Ira Kohlhaas is also headed down pit road. I suspect that he'll probably take his fast repair fix here. We'll keep an eye on that. This race does have a green flag feel to it. We'll keep an eye on. He's going to miss his pit.
Oh.
I'm not sure if he's going to take the fast repair, but no change out front. Curtis is still showing the way. Philbrick, Carter, Ringer, Morton. That's going to be the top 5, as you can see. Cole and Ringer's they've battled each other about all night long.
Yeah, definitely 2 racers that have a lot of experience racing each other, a lot of comfortability, being able to make the moves, keep it clean. We'd love to see it here.
So Curtis, look at this pack here coming down pit road. We got Curtis, Philbrick, Parra, Hinton, Burley, all on pit road at the same time.
So what is the pit cycle? Looks like everybody followed Waltz's lead here as they all dive into pit.
They in fact have followed. I'll leave the pit stop timer up down there. So now Carter, Ringer, Morton all on pit road. That's going to leave Brian Sosa out there by himself currently. So this is going to be interesting for us to keep an eye on, as right now Bradley Carter showing the lead. But now Curtis and those guys are just now exiting. So this actually could play out in Carter's favor because he's in his pit stall and these guys are just now exiting out on the track. This is going to be an interesting blend right here. As you can see, there comes Ira, there comes Waltz. Ira's going to be showed 1 lap down. So that's key. That's a battle that we need to keep an eye on right there. Let's see where Bradley Carter is. So Bradley's exited. To Waltz. There comes Waltz. Let's see where Bradley's going to be able to merge here. So there goes first, second. Ira's a lap down. There comes third of Curtis. Philbrick. This is actually going to play out for Bradley Carter.
Yeah, definitely how you make yourself. Definitely like we've been talking about since the last pit, his mistake. He's definitely learned from his mistake, finding out what to do on pit road and how to make it go his way.
That's actually going to allow him to pick up a couple of spots, at least from where he was on the racetrack. So even pitting 1 lap later, he's actually going to be able to gain a spot. So it seems like he'll end up falling into the 3rd position. And I know Brian Sosa's on pit road. You can see him getting work done right there as there comes the leaders now. So Waltz is actually going to be the biggest winner out of this, John, because now we're heading into what's going to be lap 77 of the 115. He's actually put about 4 car lengths on Jetson Curtis.
Yeah, I want to know. This is the conversation I want to have with this guy. Is what was he thinking going to pit? He definitely had some knowledge that the other drivers didn't pit in as early.
He did.
It even made it work for him. It's crazy.
And I think coming 2 laps earlier, and I believe with the clean air, at least on the race car, so far, he's been able to maintain about that 3-4 car length lead currently over top Judson Curtis. So I think the longer that they run, John, the better this is going to be for Tyler Waltz.
Absolutely. And just like that, after the pit road here, we still got the top 4 ready to go at any moment. One mistake and everybody's in the running.
Now, I'm not sure what happened to Tom Ringer. Tom was running for the 5th position around Cole Morton, but his sense shows to be a lap down. As he was on pit road, it looks like for about 55-ish seconds, maybe got caught speeding. Again, that's one of the things that we touched on is, you know, those green flag stops and being able to execute on off pit road. Is the battle for the lead starting to shape up here, John?
Absolutely. Looks like that 29 looking to make his move on the bottom, but still not being able to find any pull on the bottom. That top line is definitely where it is right now.
Yeah, Waltz has been able to run up towards the top. He's been one of the only drivers really do that on both ends of the racetrack, and in fact, really the only driver to do it, at least in 1 and 2. As you can see, I think right now, the one of the faster cars on the racetrack right now is going to be Bradley Carter. He's about, well, he shows to be about a 10th quicker than Curtis, at least by my relative. Let's take a look at the last lap. We'll take a look at the last lap times here as these guys head towards the start-finish line. We'll get a telltale. So Waltz with a 33. Curtis about a half a tenth or so faster that lap. Carter actually a little bit slower. Philbrick's the fastest out of that group. Currently the fastest car on the racetrack is going to be Brandon Hinton, though.
That's good for Hinton. Definitely, like we were talking about earlier, sitting in the back now, making his way up there, looking to peek into the top 5.
It's really no surprise that he's the biggest mover of the night, John. He's up currently 11 positions. Now, the second biggest mover of the night is going to be Jacob Williams. He's currently in the 10th position. He's going to be up 8 spots. But right now, what a beautiful job done by Brandon. We've seen him come from the back to the front for the last couple of weeks and seems to find himself in contention. We're going to be headed in towards about 30 laps to go here in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, and this is where 29 of Curtis has got to be very careful. It's easy to want to chase the leader down, but when you do that, you push your car more, and that's where the tires wear out. I'd suggest there's probably one more caution, one more green flag caution if we stay green.
As you can see, this battle's raging on.
As Curtis finds a little bite in the bottom, looking to come up top in front of him.
He was able to clear there. I didn't think he had enough room, and in fact, he did. That's actually going to hurt the entry to 3 and 4 for Tyler Waltz, and then here's going to open up the opportunity for Bradley Carter. He's actually not going to be able to do anything with it, but what this has done is this has allowed Philbrick to actually close in on this group.
Absolutely. When these leaders get battling, it slows them down so much, and this is where that wild card can come in and definitely make their job for these leaders even more hard.
Right now, Bradley Carter's looking to clear Tyler Waltz for what's going to be the second position. Is he going to be able to maintain his quarter there? He is. He's actually going to be able to pull even with him as they head into 1 and 2. I tell you, Judson Curtis is actually running a really unique line in 1 and 2, and we'll watch him the next time by. As you can see, the battle still rages on right here. But I want to actually go on board with Judson Curtis for this next lap. He's running a really unique line, John. I don't know if you've caught on to it, but let's go on board here and watch. He's going to enter kind of high and then just float it plumb to the bottom. And just look at the momentum he was able to carry there.
Yeah, that is a very beautiful line. Definitely keeping him off and pushing. Definitely not pushing too much out of the corner and too, like we've been seeing today with the car scraping the wall, but letting that car roll, letting the turn come to you, and just taking it easy. That's how you're saving tires. He's doing a dang good job of it right now.
He, in fact, is doing a good job at it. As we see a swap for second place. Bradley Carter, a sense of gotten around Tyler Waltz. So maybe that 2-lap earlier pit call might be the factor in these tires here. I'm not 100% sure, but Philbrick's looking to make a move for third. Sorry, fourth. No, third. It is third. I was right. I don't know why I second guess.
There's so much. There's so many actions going on. We're both messing up a little bit today.
We have just a little bit, but that's when you call these races live. That's what happens, right? You just. You know, it's those types of things that happen. As you can see, here's Ira and Chuck Burley. Ira still shows to be the first car 1 lap down. So if he was able to catch a caution here with what's going to be roughly 25 to go, the next time by the leader crosses the start-finish line, we'll be at 25 or 26 to go. I believe we're going to be 26 to go. Should be 25 to go the next time by, but David Askey actually shown to be the first car 1 lap down now, so this battle's starting to intensify just a little bit, John. Is Bradley Carter and Judson Curtis.
Yeah, we got 25 laps to go. This is where people start to make looking moves. Do these guys have enough fuel to do it? I thought they'd have to go green one more time with 25 to go. Who knows? If they can limp it, and if these guys can really save on that fuel and their tires.
Well, let's think about it. The first caution that we had was around lap 35-ish, and then they pitted at about 70. So that's going to be around, well, it was pitted about lap 72. So that's going to be roughly about 38 laps. So the last time these guys was on pit road was lap 70, 72 area. So that's going to be about to 115. That's going to be about 45-ish, 50 laps. So fuel very well could come into play here.
Absolutely, and this is where things get exciting. Curtis out there definitely leading it in that clean air. He's using more fuel than as he's racing in the pack like these other 3 cars behind him. Definitely a little bit more lifting, a little less throttle, a lot more fuel saving.
So one thing that we'll want to keep an eye on is if we've noticed any of these drivers really start to back up lap times right now. Philbrick's one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. You can see he's battling Waltz right there. It's going to be for the 3rd position, and then Todd Perez is going to be right behind them. They're looking to get around the lap car of... Uh-oh. Is he going to save it?
Loose.
Is he going to save it? Waltz was actually able
to
save
save
that.
What a save. That is a wheelman there.
And that's going to kill all momentum. Not only is that going to hurt all the momentum, but that's actually going to kill all his track position as he'll fall back to the 6th position.
Yeah, for sure. That is a tough break for Waltz. Looking good all day. And just all it takes is just to get a little loose, and what of a save. I bet he's super thankful for that extra large apron here at Chicagoland.
Right now, Judson Curtis was about 2/10 faster that last time by. And he's going to extend his lead out to about 1 second here, John, over top of Bradley Carter.
You know, fuel's got to be weighing heavy on Curtis's mind right now with 20 to go.
I really think I would say we're going to see here with about 5 to go. Again, Bradley's lost a couple of tenths on lap time. I show Philbrick, Parra, Hinton all running. Right now, this guy's running the fastest laps on the racetrack by about a tenth and a half. I don't know, John. I would think if we're going to see a fuel thing come out of this, and maybe we're wrong, but I think it's going to be around within the last probably 5 laps or so.
Yeah, for sure. But that's really hard to do. Like, I would expect if they're going to pit a little bit earlier, give them a little extra room to come off pit road and battle for that position they may or may not lose on the raceway. Now, this is where these cars from 6th on back, they're pack racing their own little race. And will that benefit them? Will they have enough to make it on fuel? Hopefully they do. This is a crazy one to call.
Yeah, as Todd Perez actually just entered pit lane. So it might be a little bit earlier than we thought. Now, this actually could be a pretty good call. Now, here's the thing. If this opens the pit window, and you may be right here, John, this very well, this could change the complexity of the race, because does he take 2 tires? Does he take 4? How much fuel does he take? What's going to be the calls? We're going to be heading down to about 17 to go. Looks like they're going to jack up both sides of the race car for Todd Perez. That's going to put him 4 fresh Goodyears and back out. I tell you, though, one guy I've been kind of watching the last little bit, though, that's kind of been steadily in his own world is going to be Cole Morton. What if Cole's been back here trying to save to make it to the end here?
That is true. He looks like he's gaining up on a 4th place position pretty consistently as these laps tick on.
As you can see, now Brandon Hinton's now on pit road. So that tells me it's going to be hard for these front runners, or at least these guys, to make it all the way to the end. So Hinton's now on pit road. Todd Perez, I want to see how things shake out for Todd, because he actually come down a little bit earlier. Jacob Williams now on pit road. Is there going to be anybody on the racetrack that's going to attempt to make this plumb to the end?
To me, it'd be any one of those guys from 4th to 7th right now in contention on the lead lap. They could all be saving. Save that only 20 seconds behind the leader. If anybody's saving, it's going to be those guys back there.
I think Bradley's going to be coming this time. In fact, no, I believe he's clutching. Let's see if we can go on board with Bradley. I think he actually is clutching and maybe shutting the car down even. He is shutting the car down.
Absolutely, letting the car roll.
So he's shutting the car down and clutching. This is going to get interesting. Race fans at home, if you're tuned in, don't go anywhere, because we're nearing what's going to be 12 to go. And this has just become a fuel strategy type race, and this is going to get wild. Let's go on board. Let's go on board Judson Curtis. Let's see if he's doing it. In fact, he is not. He's still running full go here.
This is where desperation starts to kick in as Carter falls back to Philbrick.
Yeah, so right now,
with a lot of saving.
Yeah, Bradley has since fallen about. He's running about a second slower lap times right now, as Curtis and Philbrick is still putting down heavy laps. We know Todd Perez and group has been on pit road, so there's this battle. As we see, Ira's now entering pit road, but Todd, Tyler, all battling for position. Brandon Hinton actually has beat both of those guys out on pit road. And so has Chuck Burley, but now Chuck has not been on pit road, so I don't know if he's in a fuel-saving situation or not.
What I do to be inside the mind of these drivers right now, let me tell you, the pressure's on. You know their palms are getting a bit sweaty. 10 to go. Here's Chicagoland. We got saving. We got a leader ahead by more than 3 seconds.
Yeah, and in fact, Philbrick actually ran about a second off of that pace, and about 2.5 or 3 seconds off of the pace. So Philbrick's in pit road. So that's going to give up second place as Philbrick. That tells me that there's no. Can Curtis make it? There's no way, right?
You know, I'll never count out anything. I've seen some crazy things here.
We know
on
that
the old
we know
iRacing.
right. We know Carter's going to attempt to make it. We see him clutching. We know for a fact that's happening, and we know right now he's about 3 seconds off the pace of the leader. Wait, I think I just heard Judson shut the car off or clutch the car. Let's go back on board as we're going to be heading to 7 to go here, John. He's not shutting the car off. He's still rolling.
Now sitting with a 15-second advantage over Carter right now.
Yeah. We've seen everyone hit pit road, but Judson, Carter, and Cole Morton. And Cole Morton's now hitting pit road. This is going to be a stretch if these two can pull this off. We know Bradley's shutting the car off. We just heard it right there. You can hear how quiet it is for the race fans at home. We know Curtis is not. At least he hasn't for the last little bit. We're going to be nearing 5
he's still
to
giving
go.
her the beans.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm sweating bullets over here.
Me and you both, brother. Let me tell you what, this is going to be a really good finish here. All eyes are on Curtis right now.
Curtis
See,
is on
what
pit
is
road.
he doing?
Curtis
Curtis has gone down pit road. All right, so he was not able to make it. Going to forfeit the lead to Carter here after that.
So the question's going to be, did he wait too long, number one? And then right here we can see Bradley is running 34-second lap times right now. The only other car that I show currently on the lead lap is going to be Brian Sosa and Brandon Hinton, and they're going to be plumb on the other side of the racetrack. So the all eyes right now is going to be on Bradley Carter. Can he stretch this with 5 to go, John?
I don't know. It looks like Sosa here is coming in pretty hot with it. 8 seconds back, now 7 seconds back, because he's cruising in. His car is still starting to save.
He is, and Curtis just got off pit road. That's going to be a fuel-only stop. So how much fuel was Sosa, was Carter, or are they able to save? As you can see right now, that lead has since shrunk. Going to be under 7 seconds this time with 3 laps, or we're going to be 4 laps to go. He's actually saving and shutting the car down too, but he's a little bit faster on the racetrack still yet than Bradley Carter.
Sosa is closing his gap pretty good right now, down to 6.5 seconds as he's chasing him down.
He is. Let's go on board. In fact, you can hear it. The car is shut off, but he's actually made up a couple of tenths now, or a couple of seconds now. It's going to be 3 laps to go here, John. Does he?
It is a sprint here.
Does he have enough fuel to catch Carter? Can Carter make it to the end? But right now we know this guy right here can, and he's about 9.5 or 9 seconds, and he's closing quickly on these leaders. As you can see, there just went Sosa at the bottom of the screen. Here comes Curtis right here, and we know Carter's going to be taking 2 to go.
You look here, Sosa's now closed the gap to 3 seconds behind Carter.
He
is moving quick.
Yeah, and there's about 5 seconds between them. I think Curtis is going to be able to catch these guys. In fact, here's Sosa, here's Carter. You can see just exiting, it's about a straightaway difference. We're about to have a battle for the lead. These guys are going to be coming to the white flag here, John. Bradley Carter still out front. You see Sosa right there, about 4 seconds behind them. This is going to be a battle.
Absolutely. Looks like Carter will keep that middle line ready to keep defense going into the corner.
As you can see, there comes the two leaders, and just exiting still right now is those two. What does Sosa have? Is Bradley going to be able to, is he going to run out of gas? Is he not? As these drivers are heading off of turn 4 with the checkered flag in hand. Bradley Carter, you can see the shake. He's out of fuel. He's out of fuel.
Oh, Carter's going to get it. Oh, my God, what a finish.
Wow. What an excellent job by Bradley Carter. He will get it. He ran out of fuel. What was about, say, 25 feet to the start line. Sosa was able to extend it. He just about, if Carter runs out any sooner, Sosa's got the win. But wow, what an amazing finish. Judson Curtis third. We'll get the race results, but holy, I want to go back real quick, John. I want to check. I want to watch this finish real quick because Bradley just about. Wow. I can't believe he extended it. As you can see, here they come. He's out of fuel right there. And that right there was the finish. As you can see how close that was, race fans.
Going back to what we were talking about, you asked me, you told me yourself you do not like going down on that. It can bite you in the butt or it could help you win. And just like that, he was able to cut that track down, use that apron, and roll it into victory lane. That is amazing.
Absolutely amazing job to notice, hey, I'm going to be a little bit short on fuel to start saving when he did. Bradley Carter will score the win. Brian Sosa second, Judson Curtis third, Ryan Philbrick fourth, Brandon Hinton fifth, Tyler Watts sixth, Top Ross seventh, Cole Morton eighth, Sean Dion ninth. Chuck Burley's going to finish in the 10th position, solid top 10. Jacob Williams going to finish 11th, David Esky 12th, Tom Ringer 13th, Ira Kohlhaas 14th, Jonathan McIntosh 15th, Jonathan Crosby 16th, Hunter Azell 17th, Thomas Jules going to finish out 18th. I'm going to see if I can't get these drivers in here. I want to start with our third place finisher. I'm going to see if I can't drag him up here. Judson, it's Brandon and John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing, man?
We're doing good. I tell you what, man, for what was a heck of a race throughout the night, you just about was able to reel those guys back in for what this race turned out to be in terms of fuel mileage. Take us through those last, say, 5 to 10 laps, knowing that you were going to be a little bit short on fuel.
Man, it was just balls to the wall. I knew it was going to be short. I'm not too comfortable with these the next-gen cars, so I really didn't know what to do as far as saving. I mean, I obviously know what to do to save fuel, but just not comfortable with it. So it was just balls to the wall. Let's see how fast we can go.
Yeah, it looked like to me, man, you had a really solid night up there battling quite a bit with Tyler Watts and Philbrick. Let's talk about the move, though, the 3-wide move. It looked like to me you noticed that Waltz and Philbrick was getting really tight, kind of leaning on each other, and then you just kind of shot it in there on the bottom, made it 3-wide, and ultimately cleared for the lead there.
Yes, sir. I was kind of just buying my time. I knew, I felt like everybody was kind of driving it in maybe a little bit too deep, so I was backing off the entry a little bit, but I saw them kind of get up there into it and then push up the racetrack, and I figured that was the shot and try to do it as cleanly as I could. I may have rubbed some paint off there on the car to the outside, but we got it done.
Man, I tell you what an absolutely amazing run for you tonight in that 29 machine, man. You got anybody that you would like to thank or give a shout out to, man? Now's the time to shine.
Shout out to Big UPS, man. Big supporter, big company to work for. Proud to work for them. Shout out to my grandparents. I've lost both of them in the past month, so they have gone and passed. This one's for them.
Absolutely, brother. We'll go enjoy that third place finish. An amazing job, and I hope to see more of you. It's the first time I've got to see you on the racetrack this season, I do believe, and hopefully we get to see you next week at Dover.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's going to be your third place finisher there, John, and what an amazing night he had.
Oh yeah, for sure. Going back to that 3 wide move, that was an insane move. Definitely a tone setter for what this race was eventually going to be. And being able to do that, like I said, not a lot of people can do that on this. He said he's not too comfortable with the next gen car. You could have fooled me because that was a dang good move by Judson Curtis.
It was a really good move. Now we're going to see if we can't get our second place finisher in here. It's going to be Brian Sosa. And John, I'll let you interview him.
Absolutely. Brian Sosa, this is Brandon and John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, what a race coming down and watching you chase down the leader of Bradley Carter, just barely coming second place, almost getting the win, man. Tell me what you were thinking as you were watching him save fuel and as you were catching.
That's when I caught him like the half a lap before, like I maybe, and then he gassed it up. If he would have ran out of fuel, like, I don't know, 50 feet sooner, then maybe I had a chance to pass him there again on the outside, but he got me by that half a car length, and that was pretty good. I was running in the back all night, just clutching, and made it work at the end. I had a half a lap of fuel left when I came across the line, so.
Absolutely. You know that, using your patience, definitely working your butt off to get to the front. Any sponsors you'd like to thank tonight?
Don't have any sponsors to thank, but I can thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thank the Rat Fink crew for putting on this race.
You're telling me you're going to have a Knob Creek. You're not even giving it a Knob Creek sponsor
I could give
here?
Knob Creek a nod, I guess, because
Me and Brandon were talking about how beautiful your car looked, and I was super excited to hear Knob Creek brought up at the end of the race, man. But is what it is. Great finish, sitting in second, almost beating Carter. Is what it is. But I could say second place ain't that bad, right?
oh, I'll take it. I'll take it any day against this group. So yeah, I was definitely very pleased to get that after the way I was kind of running in the back and didn't know what else I was going to be able to do to try to at least maybe even get a top 10 out of this. So yeah, that was awesome.
Heck yeah, man. Well, you have a good one. Congrats on your podium position, and can't wait to see you at Dover.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that's going to be your second place finisher in Brian Sosa. And I tell you what an amazing job. He caught on to the fuel mileage early, and you heard it, race fans. He was able to just kind of ride back there and just clutch. Patience, right? You talked about it all the time, John, and just able to bring home a solid second was Brian Sosa.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get our race winner in here. Bradley, it's Brandon John up in the PRN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got y'all.
Man, I tell you what, this is going to be the second time this week I've had the privilege to talk to you, but now this one tonight wasn't as easy as what it was Monday. You just about got there at the finish.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what to say right now, but at the start of that race, I was just kind of trying to save a little bit, you know. I feel like everybody was trying to. But I got past for a couple spots. Then I slowly made my way back through there, so I feel like I had a decent saving strategy. And I stalled out at about the 4th position. And I run iRacing with my Delta on as my session best lap. And it's like the tires would fall off to 3 or 4 tenths the first 5 laps of the run, and then after that they just level off, and it'd only be 4 tenths off the rest of the run, which made it really hard to pass. So I think I ran 4th or so until that caution come out, and then that caution come out. We all come down pit road, and I overran my pit stall, which is a big key in me actually winning this race, because I overran my pit stall, so I come out last, and I've been thinking about fuel the whole time. So I come back around and came down pit road again just to top it off with fuel before we went back green. And that gave me an extra lap over the whole field. And we just ran. And about 25 to go, I realized I could almost make it. So with 25 to go, I was clutching in the corners and running 75% throttle down the straightaway for the rest of the race.
Yeah, we were watching there, and we caught on to the fact that you was clutching and kind of shutting the car down there just a little bit. And so we knew then that the decision had been made, at least on your behalf, that you were going to try to stretch it to the end. Now, unknowingly, probably at that point, the 60 of Brian Sosa was doing the same, and he was catching you pretty quick, but you was able to actually hold him off there, just running out of fuel, what looked to be probably about 25 feet or so to the start-finish line.
Yeah, man, I saw him catching me. About 10 to go, I asked him if he had pitted yet, and he said no, so I figured he still had to pit, but, I mean, about 2 to go, he was still out, so I knew he'd be a threat. And so I was saving, and at the line, come to the white flag, it said I had a lap left. So I gassed it on up and just tried to run it to the end. But I guess I burned more than a lap of fuel. And coming out of 4, it actually started sputtering, and my heart dropped. I was like, ain't no way I saved all this just to lose at the line, and then I barely got him.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty close to what shows to me to be about 0.05 of a second. So really close finish. But I tell you, absolutely phenomenal job tonight, man, on the fuel strategy. Both you and Sosa was able to make the right call and ultimately find yourself in the victory lane. So any sponsors, fans, friends, family, anybody you want to give a shout out to, now's the time to shine.
Yeah, man. I mean, I knew when I was running 3rd or 4th that if I wasn't going to be able to pass them on the same strategy, because it was just so hard to pass because there really wasn't any tire fall off. So that's how I made my decision. But I just got to thank Team Conti for all they do on the open setup side. Got to thank y'all for putting on the broadcast, Ratfink Racing for putting on the race, TD Distributing, and everybody at Bradley Carter Racing.
Absolutely, man. Well, phenomenal job tonight to find yourself back in the victory lane, and we'll see you next week at Dover.
Thank you, man.
John, that's going to be just about it as we're going to wrap up our broadcast portion here on the Precision Racing Network for our live coverage of the Chicagoland Speedway, which is going to be week 4. And I tell you, it was nothing what we thought we was going to get at the start of the night, I don't think.
Yeah, definitely not. Watching it go 3 wide early in the race, some crazy moves that we've seen paid off. And, going back to what Carter was just saying, a mistake that we thought would cost him the race, he actually used his experience. Yeah, he used his experience and was able to get that extra lap of fuel to put him in a winning position. That's crazy. That's how I've been behind the wheel of a lot of these cars, and I've never even thought of myself, And just seeing that, just the finish coming down to the wire, obviously, and it's unfortunate Carter doesn't have enough fuel in his car so we could see a wicked burnout, but, man, it was a good race all together.
Yeah, probably one of the best ones that I've got to be a part of and be able to call up here in the broadcast booth. And so I want to give a shout out to Ratfink Racing League for allowing us to come in here each week to do this. And I'm having a lot of fun. And John, I'll probably have you right back with me next week when we go to Dover. If you ain't got nothing going on, you can join me right back up here again next week.
I should be here, man. Looking forward to Dover. Monster Mile, baby.
Miles is itching to bite somebody, and we'll see who that somebody is when we are live again 1 week from tonight. We'll kick the broadcast off at about 9:15 Eastern time, and we'll see everybody again next week. And until then, take care of yourself and each other.